Hello, everyone, and welcome to Platinum Tier coverage of Slipstream Racing. This is round number 6, I believe it is. Yes, round number 6 around the Hungaroring in Hungary. My name is Kema, and I'd like to thank you for joining this broadcast. If you would like to, you can subscribe to this channel as I will be providing the commentary for the Platinum Tier for Slipstream Racing for the rest of Season 4, and then looking to get a full-time seat in Season 5 to continue racing in this league. As I was a full-time driver in Season 3, however, I had some very problematic issues with my wheel, so I ended up having to stop racing for the final 2 races of the 3rd season, going into the 4th season, which then I decided to commentate for as much of the season as I could, which that started last week for round number 5. So we are waiting for a few more of these drivers to come into the lobby, and then I'm just going to check to make sure that the stream audio is working correctly. Yep, so everything is good on the audio front, so I do believe that it is a full grid for the race tonight. Ooh, there have been some drivers who have changed their reaction, so it looks like it's actually going to be, it looks like we're actually ready to go, as there are 17 drivers, and I believe the ready up message has been put out. Yes, it has. So yep, we are just getting ourselves prepared to start this short qualifying session at the Hungaroring, followed by a 50% race, which I'm going to guess is 36 laps. I am not exactly sure. Last week, I know I was off with Azerbaijan. I think I was off by 5 laps, 4 or 5 laps. I think it's 36, but we'll see when the race does commence. Oh, and as well, I need to share the stream. So... So I will just get the settings put in place. And then also would like to give a welcome shout out to Elog Kieros Damel. I'll just call him probably Kieros for the rest of this stream and then into the future. So welcome to him, as he actually just joined the league today. So this is going to be his first race in Slipstream Racing. So a welcome shout out to him. Hopefully he gets along well in this inaugural race for him in this league. So just taking a look out on track, we have La Pulga of the Haas team, who is the first out of the pits, and he will be the first on a qualifying lap. And then just behind him is a Red Bull driver. That would be Cody Runs Fast. Behind Cody Runs Fast is an Aston Martin driver. That is Grego 8776. I'll just refer to him as Grego. And then behind him is another Red Bull driver. That would be Cody Runs Fast's teammate Trent H. And then just coming out of the pits is the AlphaTauri driver of Savage Baboon. Had quite the final lap in last week's race at Azerbaijan, or in that Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Quite the final lap to get that, I believe it was 6th place position that he was able to get just heading into the final straight on the circuit. So we're right on board with Lapalga of the Haas team. See how he fares for the first qualifying lap in this session. So this corner coming up right here is quite blind, so taken quite well actually by Lapalga. It is very difficult and very easy to invalidate going through that particular turn I just mentioned. And then a lot of the last half of the second sector going into sector 3, there are places where it is quite easy to invalidate your lap. You really do have to be on the limit when you are doing your laps on this track. However, it is also quite difficult because it is a relatively narrow track. So riding on board with Lapalga, he has not invalidated, so this is going to be an official time as he opens up the DRS and crosses the start-finish line. It's a 1:21.117 for the Haas driver. Behind him is Cody Runs Fast. That is a 1:20.015 for him. And then Grego of the Aston Martin team with a 1:17.772 to put himself provisionally in pole. And then Trent H, Cody Runs Fast teammate, is now in provisional pole position with a 1:17.006. Next across the line is Savage Baboon. This is going to be a pretty good time by him. Slots himself into second with a 1:17.594. Behind him is Race Chase, who unfortunately had that last lap crash last week as our Santiago was chasing him down. That was very unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He slots himself into second with a 1:17.412. Next across the line is Fokage Roldy, sets a 1:18.415. Slots himself into 5th place. Doug Hughes would be next across the start-finish line, but he is currently on an out lap. Lapalga is actually setting another qualifying time, and he has gone slightly faster, but has not moved any places. The main lane was just on an out lap. Grego is into the pits. So is Trent H behind him, and I believe, yep, Cody Runs Fast will be going into the pits as well. So just heading through the final turn is Sir Jake of the Mercedes team. We'll see where this time will slot him. It's a 1:21.072 to slot him into 8th place. Into the pits goes Savage Baboon. Behind him, Dirt Shark, who actually missed last week's race, is here for today's session. Good to see he is on an out lap as he crosses the start-finish line to set his first qualifying lap. Race Chase is into the pits, so is Hokage Roldy behind him. And then the new driver, Kieros, is just crossing the start-finish line to start his first flying lap. So next across the line is going to be Doug Hughes. He sets a 1:18.327 to slot himself into 5th place. Next across the line is the main wing. That's a 1:16.416. That is very fast by the Haas driver. Provisional pole for him at the moment. Next across the line is F1 Original Paulie. He is on an outlap as he crosses the start finish line. Yep, he is starting a flying lap. So Sir Jake is into the pits. We'll ride on board with Dirt Shark as he set a purple sector 2. Not exactly sure how he fared in sector 1, but we will see as it's just a couple more turns for him, and then he'll be crossing the start finish line. We'll see what kind of a time he is able to put onto the board. Must have made a mistake through sector 1. It's only a 1:24.68. That slots him into 10th for the time being. Now riding on board with Piero of the Ferrari team. What is this going to be? It's a 1:16.512. Second for the time being for the new driver in Slipstream Racing. Well done by him. So next is going to be Kyle the Ace, who is actually letting a driver through. That would be a F1 Original Paulie. So we'll ride on board with him and see how it is that he fares. Kyle the Ace is actually back as he was having real problems of his own, but luckily got a fix and he is back for today's race. F1 Original Paulie across the line with a 1:21.35, slots himself into 10th. And there is Kyle the Ace, who is just starting a qualifying lap. We have exactly 10 minutes left in this short qualifying session. Oh, Dirt Shark has actually decided to go on another flying lap on the same tires that he set that first lap. So it is going to be an improvement. I thought that was over 2 seconds quicker this time around. So across the line to 1:17.197, slots himself into 4th place. Heroes is into the pits. I do believe that Trent is on a outlap, so this is now starting his, I believe, second flying lap. Savage Baboon starting another flying lap for himself. Well, Polga will be starting a flying lap as he crosses the start finish line. Looks like F1 Original Paulie is going faster, so we'll ride on board with him as he crosses the start finish line. It's a 1:18.458, jumps 1 place to 10th. Next across the line is Kyle the Ace, and it is a 1:18.715, slots himself into 11th place. So next across the line is going to be Real Estate Guru. Has not set a time as yet, and he will be commencing his initial flying lap. As next across the line, actually it's going to be next into the pits, goes the McLaren driver of Dirt Shark. So Trent H is into the pits. Grego has actually made an error on the penultimate turn of this circuit. Just trying to get himself facing in the correct direction. Savage Baboon, unfortunately, has not improved. Thug Hughes, I believe, was on an outlap. Behind him is Hokage Roldy. I believe he was on an outlap as well. Next across the line, that was Grego. I believe he was on an outlap as well. Lapolga is going slower than his fastest time, so that is probably a warm-up lap. So he should be on a flyer as it is right now. Kyle the Ace is into the pits. Behind him is F1 Original Paulie. He is into the pits as well. I saw a purple sector 1 for Hokage Roldy, so seems like he is going quite quickly at the moment. Now across the line is Real Estate Guru, and he sets a 1:22.543, slots himself into 15. Race chase across the line. He hasn't validated his lap, so we'll see if he'll be going on another flying lap. Going through the final turn is Sir Jake, and DRS wide open, and it is an improvement of nearly 8/10. 122.88 slots himself into 13. I believe the main lane has just started a flying lap. So right on board with Grego. This does look like it's going to be a slight improvement, and it is. But I believe he does stay in 7th place, so that's a 1:17.618 for the Aston Martin driver. We'll see if we can get someone. Meeb looks like he's going to be on his first flying lap. Had quite a comfortable victory at that Azerbaijan Grand Prix last week, so we'll see what it is that he is able to do for today's race. Now riding on board with Real Estate Guru, we have 5 minutes and 55 seconds left in this qualifying session. Real Estate Guru goes through the final turn, and it is going to be an improvement. It's a 1:29.47. However, he does not move any positions. Dirt Shark coming across the line. That looks like it is an outlap for himself. The main wing seems to actually be going faster, and it's a 1:16.076 for the main wing. So he is just over 4/10 clear of Heroes in 2nd place for that provisional pole position. Wolfman is currently on an outlap. The Alpine driver has not set a qualifying time as yet, and I believe Wolfman is actually going into the pits, which is interesting. Riding on board with Meeb, I believe he is on a qualifying lap, slots himself into 2nd with a 1:16.239. So it's a Ferrari P3 at the moment with the Haas driver of the main wing. Provisionally on pole position. So let us see if there is any driver who is on a flying lap. I believe Dirt Shark is, but it's not going to be improvement judging by his time. The main wing has invalidated. However, I do believe that he is on an in-lap. One original Poly is not deploying any batteries, so that would be an in-lap for him. Most likely for Meeb as well. So we'll see. Let's see if we can actually ride on board with someone going through a lap. No, Grego, I believe, is on a outlap. Lapolga is on an outlap as well. Now I do believe, Dirt Shark is going faster, so we'll ride on board with the McLaren driver, currently slotted in 6th place, about 1.1 seconds off of that pole position time set by the main wing. So let us see what the McLaren driver is able to do. So it's about a 1.4 improvement for Dirt Shark for the time being. We'll see if he'll be able to make up any more time going through this final sector. As it's DRS wide open for the McLaren driver, sets a 1:16.863, jumps up to 4th place. Behind him is Kyle the 8th, and he is improving by quite a bit. DRS wide open for the Williams driver. He sets a 1:17.395, slots himself into 7th place. F1 original Poly has gone slightly wide into that final turn. It's not going to be an improvement for the Alpine driver. Trent H is not using any batteries, so he is most likely on an outlap, as well as Cody runs fast. There's a McLaren behind Cody. That is Hokage Roldy, and he is going considerably faster than his fastest time. It's nearly 1 second. So as long as he does not make a mistake, DRS wide open for the McLaren driver, slots himself into 8th with a 1:17.440, a nearly 1 second improvement for the McLaren driver. Next across the line is going to be La Polga. Maybe, nope, it's not going to be an improvement for the Haas driver of La Polga. Behind him is Sir Jake, who is getting out of the way for an Alpine driver, or sorry, a Williams driver, being Kyle the Ace, which he is heading into the pits, and I do not believe he will not be able to make for another flying lap. So it's going to be 7th is the highest that Kyle the Ace will be starting. Riding on board with F1 Original Paulie, slight improvement, but stays in 12th place, and it's going to be no higher than 12th for the Alpine driver of F1 Original Paulie. Now, this is A1. He is on a flyer. No, a lot of outlaps at the moment. And the checkered flag is going to be waving in approximately 45 seconds. But there is a Ferrari driver who is running wide, so that would be an outlap for Mead. As Hokidroli has retired in the pits. La Polga is on a flying lap. DRS wide open for him, but he is not going to improve, unfortunately. Main win currently on a outlap. Savage Baboon currently on that was a flying lap, but went slightly slower than his fastest time. Now riding on board with Race Chase, it is an outlap for him. Hopefully he makes it to the line in time, which he does. Sir Jake is actually on a nearly 4/10 improvement. DRS wide open for the Mercedes driver. It's a 1:19.328. That slots him into 13th, and he will be starting no higher than 13th as the checkered flag is being waved. Sorry. F1 Original Paulie is into the pits. Real Estate Guru will be starting no higher than 16th. There's an Aston Martin heading to the line. It's an improvement for Thug Hughes. Moves himself up to 9th place. There is a Ferrari who is going slightly quicker. That is Mead. So we'll see if he will be able to take this pole position off of the main Wayne, and he does. It's a 1:16.023 for Mead. Behind him is Cody Runs Fast. I do not believe he improved on his time. There's a Haas that is coming to the start-finish line, and this is probably provisional pole. It is the only one into the 1:15, a 1:15.933 for the Haas driver of the main Wayne. Well done by him. So checkered flag is out for Sir Jake. Is there anyone else that's on a lap currently? No. So this is going to be your starting order. It is the main Wayne taking pole position. Mead will be starting in 2nd, and Queiroz, he will be starting in 3rd place, as it is the first race for Queiroz of the Ferrari team in Slipstream Racing. So we'll see how he is able to fare starting from that 3rd place position. 2, 3, 4 Ferrari. Haas starting on pole. So just a rundown of the starting order for this race around Hungary. It is the main Wayne who will be starting in 1st, Meeb in 2nd, Queiroz in 3rd, Dirt Shark in 4th, Race Chase in 5th, Trent H in 6th, Kyle the Ace in 7th, Hokidroli in 8th, Thug Hughes in 9th, Savage Baboon in 10th, Grego in 11th. F1 Original Paulie will be starting in 12th, Cody Runs Fast starting 13th, Sir Jake starting 14th, La Polga starting 15th, Real Estate Guru starting in 16th, and Wolfman, who did not set a qualifying time, will be starting at the back of the grid in 17th place. So just looking at the skies, it does look like it is quite clear. It doesn't look like there would be any potential for rain in this race. So looks like it is most likely going to be dry conditions for the entirety of this race. However, we will see what takes place as the drivers are just getting their final setup touches as well as their strategies in order before they line up and commence this race around the Hungary ring. So all of the drivers are lined up. It is 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And we are away for this 35 lap race around Hungary. As we will see how the start of this race goes. Meeb has actually gotten the jump on the main Wayne and has taken that first place position from the Haas driver. But the main Wayne, right on the tail of Meeb, they actually bumped him slightly going into that turn. Relatively clean start to this race, which is always good to see. As it looks like there is a battle between the AlphaTaurs, who are 14th and 15th at the moment. I just saw Grego move down a position. F1 Pauly seems has made a pass on the Aston Martin driver to move himself up into 9th place. But a very good jump by Meeb and has already pulled out 1.4 seconds on the main Wayne. And Dirt Shark with a good start himself, making up. Ooh, as the main Wayne has actually run wide. Ooh, and it looks like as we have yellow flags, and looks like Hokid Goldie has had a bit of an incident. So we'll ride on board with Heroes to get a good picture of this battle between the McLaren and Haas driver. It looks like the main Wayne has retaken that second place position. There's a bit of a squabble going on between both the main Wayne and Dirt Shark. The main Wayne has taken that second place position. Now riding on board with the Red Bull driver of Trent, and he is right behind the newcomer of Heroes. So we'll see if Trent will be able to make a move relatively soon. And look at this, man. Meeb has pulled out 3.5 seconds already through 1 2/3 laps. Some mighty pace by the Ferrari driver of Meeb. Now riding on board with Grego. As Meeb sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:19.659. DRS is enabled this lap, so is that going to benefit? It should benefit Dirt Shark. Maybe not at this point, so we'll be going into the final turn. Looks like we have a move. Looks like Kyle the Ace is actually falling back. Ooh, and a bit of contact between Grego and Kyle the Ace. Looks like Kyle the Ace is struggling slightly, has also run wide into that turn. So we also have to take into consideration that Grego is on the soft tires. So at the beginning of this race, he is going to be or have a lot better grip than Kyle the Ace, but that advantage will dissipate quite quickly as the soft tires do not last long in comparison to the medium and hard compound tires. So we'll see when it is, if Grego is able to make a move on Kyle the Ace, and then after that, how much he will start to struggle and how early that will take place. So it looks like Grego is actually making that move on Kyle the Ace, and it's going to be DRS again, as took a bit too much curb, which meant that Kyle the Ace was able to take that 8th place position back, but Grego making his way around the outside, now to the inside of Kyle the Ace, slots himself into 8th. Well done by the Aston Martin driver. Now riding on board with Trent, he is still following closely behind heroes of the Ferrari team. So this race is really going to come down to every race comes down to not making mistakes, and B, as we have yellow flag sector. Ooh, that is Sir Jake, and he, still has his front wing intact. But as I was just speaking on mistakes, it is the Mercedes driver, as we have yellow flag sector 3. As Lapolga has made his way past Sir Jake to go up into 16th. So as I was just talking about not making mistakes, it is Sir Jake who has made that error. And I do believe his front wing is fine. Yep, so he will be able to continue without making a pit stop. Now riding on board with Savage Baboon. Ooh, as Cody runs fast, runs very wide. And that is going to be Savage Baboon into 11th place. So back to this 2, 3, 4, 5 battle, and actually looks like Race Chase may be getting in on this battle relatively soon, but once again, checking in with Neve, who is checking out as he is already 7.4 clear of the field. This is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible by the Ferrari driver. Now riding on board with Hokedrolli, making his way past Real Estate Guru to go up into 13th. Well done by the McLaren driver, but he has made a mistake. And Real Estate Guru has to run wide to avoid the McLaren driver. So he takes that 13th position back. Oh, as there's a spinner. Cody runs fast, has made a mistake. Unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. Looks like Grego has also made a mistake. So those soft tires, as I was talking about, those soft tires seem to be already causing issues for Grego. He has made a mistake and he has dropped down to 11th place. So once again, back to this 2, 3, 4, 5 battle. Riding on board with Trent H. He is just following quite calmly behind the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place drivers. It looks like, I believe Sir Jake made a pass on Lapolga to go up into 16th. We'll ride on board with the Dirt Shark. So yeah, the DRS wide open for the McLaren driver. Just not enough top speed to make his way up to the half driver of the main wing DRS wide open again, but not enough straight to be able to make his way up to the Haas driver. But his teammate, Hokajoli, has DRS and is making his way past the Alpine driver of Wolfman to go up into 13th. And this will actually be interesting. He's going to get another dose of DRS as the Real Estate Guru has made a mistake. So that is Hokajoli easily taking that 12th place position, and Wolfman moving himself into 13th, as well as Cody Runs Fast and Sir Jake making their way past Real Estate Guru to go up into 14th and 15th respectively. And looks like Lapolga actually making his way past Real Estate Guru. Real Estate Guru may have damage. We'll try and get a look. No, looks like his car is well, but has gotten himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warning. So things going from bad to worse for the AlphaTauri driver of Real Estate Guru. Now riding on board with Kieros, taking the inside line, and it's going to be a battle between himself and Dirt Shark as these soft runners are heading into the pits. It is Kieros who is in a battle with Dirt Shark, making his way past, going up into third. Well done by the Ferrari driver. And now we'll see if he will be able to catch the Haas driver of the main Wayne. So Grego, just coming out of the pits, he has put on a set of medium tires. As we have yellow flags, Cody Runs Fast has made another mistake. So the Red Bull driver will be dropping down. As looks like the other Red Bull, Trent H. So both Red Bull drivers making mistakes at nearly the exact same time. That is going to drop Trent from 5th to 8th, and he must have damage. I believe he's missing, the right end plate on that front wing. So it is mostly likely going to be a pit stop for both Red Bull drivers. Unfortunately, being on the hard tires, Trent H is going to have to pit and most likely put on a set of, I'm assuming, it's going to be medium tires. So that's going to promote Savage David into 8th place as Trent is into the pits. So Trent H making his way out of the pits. He will see himself all the way down in 14th place, and just behind him now is Lapolga. However, he has just run wide going through that turn. And it's also quite low on the battery as well. Real Estate Guru of the AlphaTauri team is right behind the Haas driver of Lapolga. We'll see, but I'm assuming Real Estate Guru, as Cody Runs Fast is into the pits, has put on a set of hard tires. I'm assuming that Real Estate Guru is, as you have yellow flag sector 3, that is Cal, the ace of the Williams team. He has made a mistake at the penultimate turn and has to be careful rejoining. And it's going to be a pit stop for the Williams drivers to get rid of those medium tires. So it's going to be interesting, as also gets himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So it's going to be interesting. Real Estate Guru, I'm assuming will be pitting on this lap because those soft tires, as Cody Runs Fast has left the session. I'll see if I can try and get him back in. So Real Estate Guru actually has not pit, but Yep, he's going to be struggling. He's going to have to get rid of these tires very soon. Now riding on board with the aftermarket driver of Grego, making his way up beside Sir Jake, but did not want to risk going side by side between these turns. So has decided to stay slotted in 12th place. Oh, but Trent behind Grego with a huge lunge down the inside, not able to make that move stick. Will stay in 13th for the time being, but we'll see as Trent is on quite new tires. So is Grego ahead of him. It is Sir Jake who is actually on 9-lap-old tires. So it is going to be Grego coming up beside and making his way past Sir Jake, and it is also Trent looking for a 2-for-1, and Grego has made a mistake and taken Trent out at the same time. That is so unfortunate, and hopefully Trent has not sustained any damage. I don't believe that he would. I'm gonna try and get Cody Runs Fast. Where am I going? Back into this session. Back to the race. Real Estate Guru has gotten himself another 3-second time penalty. Yep, so that puts him at 6. Cody Runs Fast is back into the session. Good to see. However, it looks like Cody Runs Fast has left the session. So, yeah, these gaps are quite a bit. So, let's see if he can get himself back in. I don't know what. I think I saw a squiggly moment by Dirt Shark ahead of Kiro. So, I mean, something unfortunate is happening with Cody Runs Fast, as every time he joins, he is getting booted back out. So let me send another quick invite. We're riding on board with Fieros. So he's going to have DRS to his advantage. DRS wide open for the Ferrari driver of Fieros and has quite a lot of speed, making his way up beside Dirt Shark and past Dirt Shark. Now, he is also going to have another dose of DRS, so he is going to firmly have this 3rd place. So well done by Kieros of the Ferrari team. Now riding on board with F1 Original Paulie. He's actually right behind his teammate, Wolfman. So it's going to be DRS wide open for the Alpine driver of F1 Original Paulie. He's going very defensive. His teammate ahead of him, Wolfman, is going very defensive. Also very low on the battery. It's late on the brakes for F1 Original Paulie. Also shoves his teammate. Not leaving much room for his teammate taking that 9th place position. Now riding on board with Grego as Lapolga gets himself a 5-second time penalty and has actually caused a safety car. So Lapolga ran into Cody Runs Fast, has no front wing, and that has caused a safety car. That is going to absolutely benefit Meeb, as he should be able to put on a set of hards that will take him to just about, yeah, should be able to take him to the end of this race. But this is also going to neutralize that advantage that Meeb had. So I guess all in all, this safety car does not play into or play as a benefit to Meeb. However, he is going to get a free pit stop to be able to change from this medium set of tires onto a set of hards. So we'll give Meeb a bit of TV time as he is making his way into the pit to ditch these medium tires. He will be putting on a set of hard tires. Now this is interesting. Lapolga has actually made his way onto a set of wet tires, which I don't know if this is a mistake or he's just trying to save a pair of tires or save one lap of usage for his tires. So I'm assuming it's going to be another pit stop for the Haas driver of Lapolga. We'll actually see the position changes so far in the race. So Meeb has made up one position from the start of the race, traded places with the main Wayne. Currently in first, Meeb. Second, the main Wayne. Third is Kieros. He started in third, currently in third. Dirt Shark in fourth. Started in fourth, currently in fourth. Doug Hughes has made up 4 positions, started in ninth, currently in fifth. Well done by him. Race Chase behind him has dropped 1 position, started in 5th, currently in 6th. F1 Original Pauly has made up 5 positions from the beginning of this race. Lapolga gets himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So F1 Original Pauly has made up 5 positions, started in 12th, currently in 7th. Savage Baboon has made up 2 positions, currently in 8th place. Fokage Rolly behind him started in 8th, currently in 9th. Wolfman has actually made up the most positions out of anyone on the grid, started last and currently in the final points position. So that's pretty good by the Alpine driver. Next behind Wolfman is Kyle the Ace, has dropped 4 positions from the beginning of the race, currently in 11th. We have Sergey has made up 2 positions, currently in 12th. Grego has dropped 2 positions, currently in 13th. Trent H has dropped 8 positions as he had that costly error as he was in that train that involved the main Wayne, Kieros, and Dirt Shark, and then made that error, I believe it was just at the end of sector 2, which is why he is currently in 14th place. Real Estate Guru has made up 1 position from the start of this race. He is currently in 15th. Cody Runs Fast, he is not in the session. I'll actually try and get him back in the session. So Cody Runs Fast, currently in 16th. And then we have Lapolga, who is on a proper set of tires, being the hard tire, currently in 17th, but I think he may be a lap down, unfortunately. And I do believe, yep, so as Grego has left this session as well. I don't believe, unfortunately, I will be able to get Grego into the session. So I just saw that Trent got himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so that is going to be unfortunate. It's just costly unforced errors. Well, yeah, I guess unforced errors by Trent H. This one in particular. So a 5-second penalty to his name. So if there is another safety car, he will be able to serve that 5-second time penalty, but that's going to cost him time unless, yeah, if there is a safety car, then it will not really cost him much, but unfortunate for him. I would expect that the safety car will be coming in this lap. Yep, so race control has determined that the safety car will be coming in this lap. Ooh, and this is unfortunate. The main Wayne is actually in second place. But ahead of him is Real Estate Guru. So it does look like Meeb is away. Real Estate Guru is actually going to have to get out of the way for these front runners. So we're back racing. We're currently on lap 18 of 35. As now riding on board with Savage Baboon gets a very good exit out of turn 1, going side by side with F1 Original Paulie, making its way past F1 Original Paulie, and Holkage Rolly also making his way past F1 Original Paulie to go up into 8th. Well done by both of those drivers, as it looks like F1 Original Paulie, oh, he's on 10 lap old hard. Sergey gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. So F1 Original Paulie is actually on less than ideal hard tires at the moment. Looks like Kyle the Ace has made an error, so he's dropped a few positions down to 14th place as Trent H is going for a quite risky move on Sergey there. Now we have yellow flags in sector 3. It's quite odd because no one has made an error, but Trent H has. Going onto that inside curb, he has spun it. And another unforced error for the Red Bull driver of Trent H. As we have yellow flags in sector 3, Kyle the Ace has, I believe, retired from the session. Yep, so Kyle the Ace has retired in the pits, called it quits for this race. So I'm not riding on board with Race Chase. I just see blue flags. So behind him would be Savage Baboon. So it must be a driver that is a bit further back. We'll ride on board with Race Chase. Take that turn very well. Right on the back of the Alfa Romeo driver of Thug Hughes. Meeb sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:19.417. He is nearly 3 seconds ahead of the second place runner, being the main Wayne. Riding on board with Race Chase, goes to the outside and side by side with Thug Hughes, now in front of Thug Hughes. That is 5th place for Race Chase. Well done by the Mercedes driver. So we're currently on lap 20 of 35. Neve having himself quite the drive, 3.5 seconds ahead of the main Wayne, who is currently running in second. Neve's teammate Kieros in his first race in Slipstream Racing, currently in third place, just outside of that 1 second window to be able to get the DRS off of the back of the main Wayne. I do believe that DRS is enabled. Yes, it is. Now Patari of Savage Baboon currently using that DRS to his assistance and making his way past the Alfa Romeo driver of Doug Hughes. Alpha on Alpha battling. And yeah, that was like sector 1. That is a McLaren. Hokage has made an error. So Hokage dropping himself down to 10th place. So riding on board with Neve is another comfortable stroll around a circuit as he is repeating what it was that he did last week at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. This was a very comfortable race for him as he was in first place for nearly the entire race. I do believe, if I remember correctly, I think he did have to drop back in positions because of safety car shenanigans, as I do think we had 5 safety cars last week, so last week's race was quite interesting. A lot of safety cars, but the final, I would say 10 laps of that race, as looks like some drivers, I think Cody Runs Fast AI may have made its way, or yeah, may have made its way past. Ooh, there's a battle between Wolfman and Hokage Roldy. I believe, yeah, Hokage Roldy is trying to take that 9th place position back, and he has gotten it. I think there may be a slight timing glitch with Cody Runs Fast AI cars, so I will not pay much attention to it for the time being. But now riding on board with Trent H and has made contact. I believe this is now the second time making contact with Grego, as it looked like he was gonna go for a lunge and Grego was trying to leave a little bit of room. However, he did have to make the turn himself, and that ended up causing contact with Trent H, which caused him to go into a bit of a half spin. Unfortunate for Trent H. Yeah, as I was saying about last week's race, I believe it was 5 safety cars. Absolutely incredible to have that many safety cars, especially in a 50% race. However, the last 8 to 10 laps of that race were very, very entertaining. Last lap overtakes, last lap battles, Alfa Romeo versus Alfa Romeo battle going to the finish line at the end of the race. Race chase crashing out as R. Santiago was pressuring him for, I believe it was the 4th place position in that race, and race chase putting a bit too much throttle going through turn 2, and he found himself in the wall and out of that race on the final lap. So we're right on board with Kieros, going to have the assistance of DRS to keep himself in touching distance with the main Wayne. Gonna have to take some perfectionist driving to be able to get up to the back and past the main Wayne. However, we also have to take into consideration that the main lane is on medium tires, so it's going to be a stretch for him to make it to the end of the race. Riding on board with Trent H, he is making his way past Sir Jake to go up into 12th place. Now coming up to the back of that Aston Martin driver, we will see if it is going to be 3 times unlucky between Trent H and Grego. We will see relatively shortly. But as I was saying, the main lane, who is on 10 lap old medium tires in comparison to Pieros's 10 lap old hard tires. So I'm even thinking, unless the main lane can do some tire whispering, he may actually have to make a pit stop before this race ends. As I'm riding on board with Trent H, he is being quite tentative in trying to make his way past Grego. F1 Original Pauly and Hoka Joldy are into the pits. That is 17 lap old hard for F1 Original Pauly. For his pit stop, Trent H, DRS wide open. He is making his way beside Grego, and that's going to be past Grego. And with the assistance of DRS, he's going to stay in 9th place. As we have yellow flags, looks like Hoka Joldy has made a mistake on those cold medium tires, as he has just made or just come out of the pits after making a pit stop. So unfortunate for the McLaren driver. Now riding on board with Pieros. Going to have the assistance of DRS once again, but didn't get a good enough exit, so he's going to have to stay in that 3rd place position for the time being. So we're currently on lap 26 of 35. That would mean there's about 9.5 laps remaining in this race. Meeb has himself a very comfortable lead out in 1st place, 4.6 seconds, 4.5 seconds ahead of the main Wayne, who is currently in 2nd place. Looks like Trent is making his way past Wolfman to go up into 8th place. So after all of those mistakes, Trent is actually doing quite a good job to make up those positions that he lost. So he is currently up into 8th. We'll see. He is 19 seconds behind Thug Hughes, so that's going to be a very huge ask, but we'll see. Anything can happen. If there are any drivers who make errors, he may be able to make up more positions before this race does end. I didn't even realize I was the main Wayne and Kieros going through sector 1. So Kieros would have had the assistance of DRS, but still not able to make his way, as we have yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. I believe Lapolga may have been letting someone through. We'll see. Yep, it's going to be DRS. He just gets to the line in time to be able to get DRS. But I don't know if you'll be getting this second dose of DRS. Yes, he does. But Kiros, this is impressive by the main weight, actually, on 14 lapo mediums and compared to Kiros's 14 lapo hards. And the main weight is actually pulling away from Kiros. So that is quite impressive by the Haas driver, as F1 Original Paulie able to catch his car as he almost makes a pivotal error. Now, F1 Original Paulie is going to have DRS to assist him, so we'll see if the Alpine driver is able to make his way past Sir Jake as Hokage Roldy sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:19.228. There's another dose of DRS for the Alpine driver of F1 Original Paulie. Will he be able to make his way around the outside? He is able to make that move, puts himself into 11th. Well done by the Alpine driver. So once again, going back to the front runner, the leader of this race, that being me. But oh, looks like Lapolga actually got himself pretty close to Real Estate Guru. So Meeb with a 5.4 second lead on the main Wayne in second place. Behind the main Wayne is Kieros, Meeb's teammate, in third place. In fourth is Dirt Shark. Fifth place is Race Chase. Sixth is Savage Baboon. Looks like Lapolga has made his way past Real Estate Guru to go up into 15th, but now Real Estate Guru is going to get himself DRS. So it's DRS wide open for the AlphaTauri driver, and he is using that battery, makes his way up beside as they are going side by side through turn 1, and Lapolga runs very wide. DRS again for Real Estate Guru. However, it is a battle between the AlphaTauri and Haas driver. Real Estate, they're still going at it. Lapolga taking that 15th place position back, but he is quite low on the battery. So this is probably going to play into the hands of Real Estate Guru. Not riding on board with Hokage Roldy. He got quite close to Sir Jake. And on these 4 lapo mediums, I believe this is going to be quite an easy move. Looks like Real Estate Guru has actually... Nope, we have yellow flags in Sector 2. Lapolga has made a mistake. Riding on board with F1 Original Paulie. We're trying to make that move into turn 1. Grego retakes that 10th place position. Riding on board with Hokage Roldy as, wow, that was a Mercedes. That went quite wide and deep into that turn. So a mistake for Sir Jake. Say that 5 times. Now riding on board with Kieros. He's in a battle with the main Wayne. He's going to have DRS, but the main Wayne able to hold on. The main Wayne is doing an impressive job. He is on very old tires. Same laps, same amount of laps as... Ooh, as Kieros gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warning. We have the outside Sector 2. Is that Savage Baboon? No, that is Real Estate Guru, unfortunately. So I believe F1 Original Paulie made his way past Grego to go up into 10th. Doug Hughes has gotten himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warning. So we are nearing the end of this race. And just like last week, things are starting to kick off. currently riding on board with Kieros on the previous lap. He was able to make his way momentarily past, as we have yellow flags. F1 Original Polly has made an error, and Grego and Hoka have moved their way past the Alpine driver. So approximately 3.5 laps remaining in this race. We have yellow flags, and there's a Red Bull that's going slow as Real Estate Guru has made a mistake, and he has to be careful. He's coming through turn 1. This driver should be relatively safe. Approximately 3.5 laps remaining in this race. It's going to be interesting. DRS wide open for Hoka heading into turn 1. Grego is going defensive. Ooh, that was a bit of a dangerous move by Grego. However, Hoka making his way past moves himself up into 10th place. Now riding on board with Kieros, as both himself and the main lane making their way through the final turn, now onto the start finish straight. With DRS wide open for Kieros as he made a very dangerous lunge and made contact with the main lane. Luckily, there may be potential damage for Kieros. I would assume that the main lane should be fine. We'll see how Kieros continues throughout this race. After that slight error going yellow flag sector 1, that is Lapolga, and he has to be careful rejoining onto the track as he almost gets in the way of Real Estate Guru. Slightly dangerous by Lapolga. So after that error by Kieros, it does seem Sergey gets himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he has retired from the session in the pit. Savage Baboon gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warning. So riding on board with Race Chase, it's actually unfortunate because his own teammate who has retired is actually going to slightly impede him. However, luckily, not too much of an issue. We are on the penultimate lap of this race. Neeb is still out in the lead. He has made his way past, I believe that would be Cody runs past AI car. As Neeb is just heading into the beginning of Sector 3. Looks like there's a battle for 11th place. Riding on board with F1, after we'll go to Grego, as F1 Original Polly is low on the battery. DRS wide open for Grego. I'm not sure if this is Grego's AI car. It seems like it's driving somewhat robotically. Oh, I think Grego was the one who actually disconnected. So yeah, I believe that is Grego's AI car. Kieros! With a huge lunge, and that was very, very dangerous, and that's going to cost him some serious positions. You have yellow flag sector 2. Hoka has made himself a mistake. Neeb gets himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warning. We have yellow flags in sector 3. That is Trent, as he almost gets in, I believe that was Real Estate Guru's way. So we're right on board with Reeve as he is going through the final few turns. Once again, another comfortable race for the Ferrari driver as he is going to come home and take the win of this Hungarian Grand Prix. Also setting the fastest lap on the final lap, a 1:18.938. In second place is going to be the main Wayne. Third place is Dirt Shark. Finishing in fourth will be Kieros. Now just about to head into the final turn is the Mercedes driver of Race Chase. This time finishing this race in fifth place. No errors on the final lap for the Mercedes driver. Savage Baboon will be finishing in sixth. Doug Hughes sees himself come home in seventh place. So after a somewhat scruffy race, Trent H sees himself finish in 8th place, and then finishing in 9th and 10th, Wolfman and Holkage, Roldy, followed by F1 Original Pauly in 11th. However, here is your race winner. It is Neeb of the Ferrari team. Savage Baboon gets himself the driver of the day as determined by the game. So I will run through the final finishing order for this race. It is Meeb taking the win of this race, also setting the fastest lap on the final lap of this race. That is quite impressive. We have the main Wayne who finishes in second. Third, Dirt Shark. Kieros finishing in fourth. Well done by him for his first race in Slipstream Racing. We have Race Chase finishing in fifth. Savage Baboon finishing in sixth. Doug Hughes finishing in seventh. Trent H finishing in eighth. Wolfman finishing in ninth. And Holkage Roldy finishing in 10th. Now, these are the final finishing positions. Obviously, there may be time penalties as there may be incident reports and stuff like that. So these are the finishing positions for the time being. However, they may change. F1 Original Pauly finishing in 11th. Grego finishing a lap down in 12th. Cody Runs Fast finishing in 13th. Real Estate Guru finishing in 14th. Sir Jake finishing in 15th, and he actually retired on the penultimate lap of this race. And then we have La Polga finishing in 16th, and Kyle the Ace finishing in 17th place. So that is it for that 35-lap race around the Hungaroring in Hungary for this Hungarian Grand Prix. I would like to thank everyone for tuning into this stream. If you would like to subscribe to this channel, you can do so, as I will be providing the streaming and commentary for the rest of the season for the Platinum tier. So heading into next week, I'll take a look at the calendar. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Monaco. Well, yeah, so next week, May 16th, the race will be taking place, or it will be the Monaco Grand Prix, and it will be a full qualifying session. So make sure that you tune in Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be the same thing. I will be here providing the coverage here for Slipstream Racing for the Platinum tier. For myself, Kema, I would like to thank you for tuning into this race. Make sure that you like and also subscribe if you would like to get the notifications for when I go live for the coverage of Slipstream Racing for the Platinum tier. For myself, Kema, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. And as always, take care.